Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Lily Dale Radio, and the name of the show is called Embracing Your Essence. And as you are joining in, please do say hello. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, the host of the show, and every week on Tuesdays, most Tuesdays anyways, I'm here talking about things that can help you live your best life, help you embrace your essence, if you will. So as you are joining in tonight, we are going to be talking about strengthening your soul connection. And this is a fun adventure for us all here as a humanness is here. So in case you don't know details here, we'll do some details. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium at Lily Dale. I am a certified intuitive, spiritual, and soul coach. I am the author of this book, Courageously You, and I do a lot of workshops and things like that. And you can find out more about me at my website, ColleenVanderzijden.com. And then, of course, we have LilydaleAssembly.org, and this is where you can find out all of the workshops that are happening off-season here in Lilydale. And Lilydale Assembly Incorporated is the official Facebook page. And you can also find out about the workshops there and see what else is happening here in Lilydale. Even though it is winter, we still have, well, not quite, almost. We still have some things happening here. So thank you. As you join in, do say hello. And so I can make sure everything's working too, but also to see who's here visiting with me. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you. And so, as I said, we are going to be talking tonight about strengthening your soul connection. Some people are feeling very lost or purposeless right now. So we're going to talk about a few ways to help you listen to and trust your soul's guidance. We will also do some questions this evening. If you have questions about your spiritual path and you'd like some either a mini soul reading or some soul guidance, we will be doing that as we go tonight as well. Now, it is necessary that you be on my page for me to see your comments, and I will announce this again later. So my page is Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach, and make sure my page has the blue check mark next to it. There are some scammers and trolls out there who have copied my page, and sometimes it gets a little confusing. So my page is the one that has the blue check mark. I am verified by Facebook that it is really me. You can also tell because I have over 8,200 followers, and frequently the fake pages have, like one follower or two or nobody, or they'll tell you you need to do a friend request, but professional pages don't do friend requests. So there we are. So make sure you're on my page over here. So tonight, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about strengthening that soul connection. And I'm hoping to spend a good amount of my time actually tonight with you, answering your questions, giving you soul guidance, whatever is going on. So hi, Kate. Nice to see you. Hi, Denise. And 2 weeks ago, we talked about how the soul communicates with us. So I am not going to repeat that information. And if you did not see that show and you want to know how your soul communicates with you, you can find this video, the recording, stay on my Facebook page here. If you go to the More tab at the top and go underneath, you'll see videos. You can click there. You can also see them on my website, ColleenVanderzijden.com. They are there as well. And it's under a tab that says something like radio show. So you can see all of that. So what we're going to, as I said, talk about this tonight, but some details. Hi, Sam. Nice to see you. Some details. When we are talking about strengthening your soul connection, who are you at the soul level? I am always saying this, who you are at the soul level. And then a couple people last year asked me, what do you mean by that? And I think it might be good for me to mention that and explain what I think that means. So for me, when I talk about somebody being who they are at the soul level, I'm talking about their authentic, true self. The self that is connected to the divine universal energy, the self that is your most pure essence, if you will, the self that is not overwhelmed by life and its constraints, the problems, the challenges. So who you really are inside. And so this is what I'm talking about when I say the soul level. You are connected to the divine. You are part of that divine energy. When we feel lost or purposeless, and I keep hearing this from so many people that they are feeling lost, This is simply your soul trying to get your attention. Your soul is basically saying, okay, we've got more to do. You feel lost because you don't know what's next, and our humanness wants to know what's next. But the soul is going, let's figure it out. But I'm going to help you figure it out. And that is the soul helping you figure it out. So when you're feeling this way, lost or purposeless, wondering what's next, wanting more, it is simply a message from your soul. So don't get caught up in not knowing what's next or what's coming and all of that. Don't get caught up in that, because the soul is going to lead you where you need to go. And we will talk more about that in a little bit. So I'm just going to say hello to people in case I missed some, because that always does happen here. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you as well. Good, good. So, and as anybody else wants to join in and say hi, feel free. Hi, Monique. Nice to see you too. So, here we are talking about this, who you are at the soul level, just foundational information. Now think about this for a minute. If you were living from your soul, as your soul, truly living in it, you would feel free. You would be so free. You wouldn't be worried about what other people think about you. You wouldn't be worried about what's happening in your life. You would have this limitlessness where you could achieve whatever you want and do whatever you want and be whoever you want. You would have also this peace that would be pervasive. You would have joy. Even if there were challenges, your joy would be stronger. You'd be content. This is how you would feel if you were living in your soul's energy, in the soul's flow. And this is how we are supposed to be living here. As we live in our humanness, we're learning more about who we truly are at that soul level and our ability to live beyond our limited physical lives. And that doesn't mean we're ascending to the other side. It means in this physical life, we are as high vibrational as we can possibly be, right? Doesn't it sound amazing? So amazing. We wouldn't have to be worrying about things. We would be letting go of the idea that we have to fix things or control things or force things or power through. We wouldn't have to do that because our soul would always be guiding us. And this is what we want right out of life. And I thought it would be important to tell you why you would want to live as your soul. Like, what are the benefits? Why would you want to do it? And it can sound like it's so far-fetched, right? It's almost as though it's impossible to do that, but it is not impossible, and you can do it. And so we are going to talk about some different ways to help you strengthen that connection. So now, if you are just joining in, I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium here in Lilydale, and also other things, a spiritual teacher, etc. You feel free to say hello. Now, if you want to make comments or ask questions, you do need to be on my official Facebook page, which is Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. Look for the blue check mark next to my name. But if you are watching me now, you probably can find my name right there. It's right at the top. Okay. I'm going to say hello, and then I am now going to give you some ideas to help strengthen your connection. And in a little bit, we will open it up for questions, comments, soul readings, those kinds of things. So hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. Hi, Tom. How are you? Hi, Paula. Yay. Hi, Pam. Hi, Tammy. Thank you. Yes, I am doing well. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Nice to see you here. And hi, Yolanda. I just love saying your name. I know I said that a lot last year too, but I just really like that name. So what we're going to do now is strengthen your soul connection, right? Now, the first thing we want to do is spend some moments where you are simply being, sitting in stillness. You can do this with the intention to connect with your soul, or if you like, to connect with the divine universal energy. They're one and the same, so either way, whichever feels good to you. Sometimes we find it hard to sit in stillness, as humans especially, right? Because our minds can just go on and chatter. So what we want to do is focus on our breaths. Focus on your inhale and your exhale. Now, as you do this, what will happen is your body will start to calm down, your mind will start to calm down, and then you'll move into that state where you feel calmer, more peaceful, where you are in that stillness. This is, when we're doing this is a sense, it's a feeling that we have. Okay, where we are still and our mind is slower. When we are thinking, when we're wanting to know what's next, and this is what we tend to do when we are feeling lost or purposeless, we want to know what's next. We want to know our purpose. When we do these things, when we're thinking like this, we're not in that stillness. We're not in our soul's flow. Our soul's flow is where we can be still and allow the answers and the guidance to come to us. Okay, this is like a spiritual flow, a soul flow. It's kind of like being in the zone. You know, when you're in the zone and everything is just coming to you and it's easy, or you're just so immersed in something, it's the same kind of feeling. And there's a certain feeling we get with that. So we want to step into that stillness with intentionality so that we can allow ourselves to be guided. This is the opposite of thinking things out. Okay, it's the opposite. So we want to do it that way. Okay, if we catch ourselves thinking or wanting something, and this is our human part coming in again, if we catch ourselves thinking and wanting, what we want to do is pause. As soon as we notice, we pause, we take a deep breath, and we choose to trust. So we're going to trust that in that stillness, the answers will come. Now, as humans, we tend to be a bit impatient and we want things right now. I always say we want things when we want them and we want them right now. But here's the thing. If we're going to evolve and live as our soul, we do want to move into that trusting. We do want to move into surrendering and giving up that sense of control and forcing and allow the answers to come. And I will talk more about this in a minute as to how to really step into that, because this is very important if you want to live your life with as much joy, peace, and meaning as possible. Hello, Ellen and Nikki and Jeremiah. Nice to see you guys here. The next thing that can help you strengthen your soul connection. So the first one is to step into that stillness. The second one is to do something creative or fun. This helps you get into that zone, into that flow. Hi, Julie. You want to be in that flow. Our humanness is to power through, to keep going, to make it happen. Then we get overwhelmed overthinking. So our humanness is like, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to finish this. I've got to make it happen. I've got to figure it out. We're going to do it a different way because the soul doesn't do it this way. If you go do something fun, do something you enjoy, do something creative, it breaks the thinking habit, opens your mind up, and that's when the guidance is going to come in again. Okay, these are pretty high concepts for most of us in many ways because we haven't really thought about how do we connect with the soul. But over the past couple of months, spirit, angels, guides, etc., are giving me so much information about living from and in that soul's energy. And it is now the time to do this as we move through this consciousness shift, as we move into a vibration that is more love and more light. This is essential. So for those of you who are interested in this kind of thing, you are an essential part of helping us move into this energy. Thank you for the stars, Shayna. Very sweet of you. Next, the next thing to do, if you are going to strengthen your soul connection so you can have that peace and that joy and that meaning that you deserve, you are going to take the risk and listen to the feelings you're getting and then act on them. You're going to take the risk. At some level, you do know the answers. I will talk more about that too. At some level, you do know the answers. And lots of times, we just don't want to hear them. We know what we need to do to feed our soul, to make our soul happy, to make our soul feel wonderful. We know this. Okay, so take the risk and act on what you're feeling. The next thing, hi Arlene, nice to see you. Thanks for the stars. Oh, you guys, Facebook has started that stars party. That means lots of stars within the next 5 minutes. Make Facebook happy, and I appreciate it as well, because it is actually a very small monetary gift to thank me for volunteering my time here for you this evening. So you do what you want, however. The next thing we want to do to strengthen our soul connection is to be willing to let go. We have to let go of the thoughts and beliefs that are limiting us. We have to let go of situations that no longer feed our soul, that we know are wrong for us, that are not making us happy. We may have to let go of people that no longer are there for us anymore. So here's the thing. Those are 4 ideas to help you strengthen. But what happens here? So stillness, moving into the stillness, creativity and fun, take the risk to listen and go after things and be willing to let go of whatever we need to let go of. The soul is going to push you to make difficult decisions. It's just the way it is. It is going to push you to end relationships. It is going to push you to take a risk and go after something you want, a dream, a goal, whatever it might be. It is going to push you to be uncomfortable, because when we are uncomfortable, that's where our growth comes. If we're too comfortable, everything is more habitual, we're living from patterns, etc. If we're too comfortable, then we really don't grow as much. Now, this doesn't mean that being comfortable is bad, because sometimes we want to be comfortable, right? We want to kind of coast for a little bit. We don't want to have to be working all the time, and we don't want to be uncomfortable all the time. But when our soul is pushing us to do something different, then what we want to do is we've got to be aware of this and just go with it. So we've got to let things go and move into that unknown and that uncertainty. Now, sometimes we might have to set some boundaries. And Meridel is saying letting go of things is not that easy. And that is so, so true. And we will do a whole show on that at some point with all sorts of different strategies to help you let go. Sometimes simply the awareness that we have to let go is enough to kind of push us through that and recognize how important it is. And so we will continue that conversation as we go. And Sherry's saying, I'm trying to find my next journey going into the winter. Time to figure it out. Just had to let go. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay, so now what happens with all of this, with the soul pushing us to go in a different direction, what happens is sometimes because it is uncomfortable, or we have to make changes or end relationships or whatever, we get scared. And this is because we think it's going to be hard, or that things aren't going to go the way we want them to, right? Or we get scared because we don't want to hurt somebody. We have to make a choice and it might hurt somebody. And when these thoughts, these fears come up, it can be very easy for us to fall back into self-protection and not take the risk, not take the action. We might also, sometimes what we do is we keep waiting, hoping that a situation is going to magically resolve or a solution will magically appear. Or sometimes we even tell ourselves it's not that bad. And if you ever hear yourself saying it's not that bad, that means there's a fear in there that is blocking you from taking the risk to go after something better than not that bad, right? All of this is just fear talking. It is amazing. Kate is saying, I so needed this topic tonight. I have felt so lost the last few years trying to find my purpose and a sign of what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, Kate, I can tell you that I know quite a few people who have been going through something similar, and it's wild because so many people are saying things like the last few years I've been trying to figure this out and that out and all this, right? And with the information that my guides have been giving me, over the last couple of months, I'm recognizing that we've been doing it wrong. We've been trying to figure it out wrong. We've been doing everything opposite of what we should be doing. So to that end, I am going to be teaching a class to help us learn how to truly live in that soul's energy to transcend our everyday things that are getting in our way. I'm going to teach a class on this in the spring. I'm waiting until I get all of the downloaded information from Spirit. I've got a pretty good list going now so that we can be there with each other during this class and support each other as we start living from a totally different perspective. So don't worry if any of you have been feeling the same way that Kate has been feeling, because we are simply shifting into living from our soul's perspective. So that will be coming as soon as I have it up and ready for people to register. I'll let you guys know. It is so interesting. Michelle says there does seem to be a big push toward a life change, moving, new job, leaving a partner, retirement, right? It is amazing, isn't it? So all of this stuff is our soul pushing us, if you will, to live a limitless life, to move into that life that we want, the joy, the freedom, all of this stuff, where we're not stuck, where we're not feeling so connected, and I don't like that word, attached to what we have in our physical lives, but instead work more with our internal lives. So we're truly living from our soul's perspective. Now, last week, someone asked an excellent question. She said, if you figure out who you truly are, listening to your soul, how do you get the courage to set boundaries and make decisions? And then she also said, or does that mean I'm not ready or haven't listened to my soul enough? And then she said, I'm afraid to make the wrong decisions. How many of you have felt this way as well, right? We don't want to make the wrong decisions. We feel like if we do something that it's going to ruin our lives, if you will, right? And here's the thing. If we are truly living from our soul, we will be guided to the answers. We will be protected. That doesn't mean we're not going to have things happen in life that we don't like, or that maybe we feel like we've made a mistake. But these are all opportunities for us to step into our soul's power again. We get to choose to do this again. Everything that is happening in our lives is here to help us to reconnect to our soul. So to be courageous and grow into our soul, to become our soul, this means, and here's a very important part of this, because this is not for everybody, right? It's only for people who this feels right to, right? And this, to become our souls, means we have to make a commitment to ourselves. Do we truly want to live our best lives? People say all the time they do, but then they don't follow through on that commitment that they're attempting to make, right? Do we really want to live as our souls? Do we really want to be as high vibrational as we can be? Do we really want to be as divinely connected as we are? Do we really want that? And some people will say yes, but inside the fear may overcome and they won't be able to step into it. But maybe later they can. Okay, so just because it's a little scary now, but here's the thing. We want it so much because we know at some level we need it. It really is a calling. We need it. Our soul is calling us at this very time to step into our brilliance and our most amazing, limitless life. If you are hearing my message now, this message is for you. You are being called to step into your brilliance, your essence, your soul. And to do that, we have to be willing to step outside of that comfort zone that I just briefly mentioned, to step outside of that, to take the risk to check in with ourselves and honor what we are truly feeling, and honor what at some level we really know is true for us at this time. You've probably had this kind of feeling before. Think about this for a moment. Thank you for the stars, Dee. Have you ever had the experience where you absolutely had to do something? You had to do it. It called you. That some part of you was pushing you, calling you. Something caught your attention so much, you had to do it. This is what it's like, right? We know that we want to do it. There wasn't really a choice. we were going to keep going. We're going to do it. It could have been something like creating something. Okay, maybe you wanted to learn how to paint, write a book. It was calling you. You had to do it. Maybe it's as simple as going to the ocean. You had to go to the ocean. Maybe you had to learn how to play an instrument. Whatever it is, this is how your soul calls you as well. So you've already done this. You have already made a commitment to yourself at another time. This isn't brand new for you. So this is just taking it up a level, going to the next step. What we can do is nurture this. We can choose to believe that this is possible. We can choose to believe in ourselves and our souls. We can choose to believe our soul will be there for us, because it will be there. We don't lose our soul. We don't become disconnected from our soul. Life stuff can get in our way and make it a little bit more hazy, but we can still choose to do this because our soul's going to have our backs. And when we do this, and thinking back to the time where maybe something called you earlier, we know that even though it might be hard, we are going to choose to keep going. We're going to realize that our experience, everything we're experiencing, is there to help us be our souls. It is giving us an opportunity to choose to be our souls and respond from our best soul response. Thank you for the stars, Kimberly. Fear is what gets in our way. And if we know fear is going to get in our way, then all we have to do, and it sounds so simple, is to trust. We are going to trust that we will be guided. And it is scary, yes, because we're human and we don't like taking risks and we don't like being uncomfortable. But if we don't listen to our soul, if we ignore the messages and not act on them, and I bet you can think of some situations where maybe you've done that, when we do this, we're limiting our joy, we're limiting our lives, we're limiting our potential, we're limiting our peace. We must never settle for less than who we truly are. Never settle for this. So here's an example for you, and I bet some of you have gone through this. You're in a relationship. You maybe have been exploring about the soul, and you want to live as your soul. You really do. You want to be high vibrational and all of this. And you touch in with your soul, and your soul says, you need to leave the relationship. At some level, you need to leave the relationship. But what do? Our humanness skips in here, right? And says, oh, but if you leave the relationship, then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Or what happens is we talk ourselves out of it. Well, it's not that bad. Remember, that means you're settling. It's not that bad. Maybe I'm just misreading it. And we literally talk ourselves out of listening to our soul. Now, here's the thing. We know we need to do it, and we have a choice. We can keep going in a relationship, job, whatever it is, that is not satisfying, that isn't loving, whatever it might be, and be miserable for the rest of our lives. Or we can listen to that soul's guidance, and even though we know it's going to be hard, take action. If you have had that kind of situation in the past, and then for whatever reason the relationship ended, and yes, it was very hard when you were going through it, wasn't it? But I bet as time went on, you felt so much better after, because you let go of something that was dragging you down. That is a very simple story, example that so many of us have experienced, right? Now, if we've had a relationship end and we're still in pain and it's been years or something, there's another layer that we need to let go, and that's where I would say find a certified, whatever they call it, professional therapist to help you with that. So let me say hello to people for a minute. Now, we're getting close to the end of my little speech time. So if you're going to want to be talking to me, wanting a little mini reading, soul guidance, questions about your spiritual path, you need to be on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. look for the blue check mark next to my name, click on it, get over here. Okay, I can't see your comments on the Lily Dale page. So I'm just going to look at some of the comments. Hi, Megan. You are speaking so much of what I'm feeling right now. It's so hard to listen to your soul sometimes if it hurts someone else. Thank you for reminding me of that, Megan. Because yes, right? And all of you are kind, caring people. I know you are. I can feel your energy. And it's really hard to let go of somebody if they're wonderful too, and it's just not feeling right anymore, and you've done your best to repair it. Okay, it's not we don't just all of a sudden just leave at the first sign of a discomfort, right? But yes, and sometimes we have to let go of things that are and people that no longer fit us anymore. Okay, so here's the thing. We must never sacrifice ourselves, our joy, and our peace. Okay, we have been taught, well ingrained, to take care of everybody else. But who's living your life? You are living your life. So it is essential that you listen to yourself and act on this. Do what is right for your soul. If you're going to cause pain to someone else, yes, that's going to happen. And these things happen. And I don't want to sound like I'm minimizing it, but these things happen. We do the best to move through it with as much love and grace as possible. Okay, I'm going to check some comments here. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Kimberly, I don't know if I thanked you for the stars, but thank you for the stars. Greg says, some people feel like they have to play the hurdy-gurdy. I have, you guys. I so want to play the hurdy-gurdy. So if you guys know anybody who has a hurdy-gurdy that I can try out, let me know. Okay. Pam says, I ache for these changes, but so many obstacles where I feel I have to put me at the back and caring for them at the front. An elderly parent, an elderly aunt, medical issues, children. I just can't figure out how to balance these responsibilities with how badly I need a deep soul change. And that is such a wonderful point to make, Pam, because we do have life circumstances that can be very challenging if we're taking care of an elderly parent or aunt, or we have medical issues or taking care of kids, etc. So how do we balance these responsibilities with how badly we need that soul? The simplest thing to do, Pam, and anybody else who needs to know this, is we must try as best we can to find some time to ourselves where we can simply sit in that stillness with the intention to strengthen our soul connection. This will give us all sorts of positive benefits, not only because we need the stillness, but also it is strengthening that connection. It is going to help us rebuild our energy so we can handle these other physical external things happening in our lives. And we might also get some suggestions or guidance and how best to handle these things. And I know sometimes people say a lot, well, I don't have those few minutes. And it's like, well, lock yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes. And if it's only 5 minutes, that's what you do. Okay. If we don't get this time to ourselves, well, my opinion, not based on anything scientific, we can become mentally unstable. Okay. And I'm not saying you're going to go crazy or anything like that. Just speaking from my own experience, if I don't have my own solid alone time, I feel mentally off. I do. I'll admit it. Okay, next. Yes, Kimberly. Well, I'm sure you'll come back next summer to Lilydale. Next. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Pamela. I'm still skimming here, and don't worry. Hi, Lori. Am I talking to you? Okay. Good. We got lots of people asking for mini readings. Good. Okay, let me finish this up, and then we'll get to that. So here's the next thing. How do we be courageous, right? How do we step into this? How do we let go of the fear? Now, here's the thing. We're not really going to let go of the fear. We're going to see the fear, and we're going to do it anyway. We are going to do it anyway. If it's something your soul is calling you to do, if it's something that feeds your soul, if it's something you need, and I mean that on the deepest, most urgent level, then we are going to choose to make that commitment to ourselves, to our soul, honoring what we're feeling and knowing. And even if we're scared, we're going to take the risk anyway. the benefit is huge. Because remember what I said toward the beginning, when we step into our power, when we step into our soul, we have more joy, more peace, more abundance, more limitlessness. We have greater potential. We can do all sorts of things in our physical lives. We will feel amazing. We will be calmer. We'll have that guidance coming in. It will be amazing. So now here's the thing, stepping in and taking that risk, even with the fear, even deciding to trust our soul, to trust we're going to be guided. That's a risk because it goes against our human nature of fixing and controlling and thinking. We've been doing that for decades, so many of us, right? If I just work harder, I can figure this out. If I fix this, then I'm going to feel better. I'm going to think it out, figure it out. I'm going to do that. But we want to do it differently than that now. We want to do it. So we want to trust. So every time we want to do something, we feel like it has to be a physical action, but choosing to trust is doing something. We're intentionally breathing, stepping back, and reminding ourselves to trust. Can you imagine how much more free your mind would be if you weren't figuring things out, overthinking, and worrying? When you step back in trust, it's like you get in that flow. You just let your soul take care of it. You don't have to do it. Your soul will do it for you. Something that can also help you get more clarity on a message from your soul is to ask yourself, what can't I do? Okay, what can't I do? Because what tends to happen is the answer will come up. I can't tell my partner I want to end my relationship. I can't quit my job. I can't hurt someone. This tells you where your soul is trying to lead you, right? So this is small steps. We're going to do small steps. This isn't a gigantic thing necessarily. If you know you need to end the relationship and you've done everything again to try to fix it, et cetera, repair it, get on the same page, whatever it needs to be, what you might want to do for a small step is get used to the idea that you're ending the relationship. Make the decision you're going to end the relationship. Then once you've gotten more comfortable with that, right? Move into that. Then you can move into the next uncomfortable step, which might be talking to a lawyer, talking to your partner, making a plan, setting money aside, whatever it might be. So we can do that too. So it's small steps. Even though your soul knows the answers, you don't have to, rip the Band-Aid off totally if you haven't figured out how you're going to do it, what it's going to be. But that will help. Okay. Now, y'all got that? I'm not going to summarize for you, so go back and take notes if you need them. So again, if you are on Lily Dale's page and you want a mini reading, you have a situation you want some intuitive soul guidance on, you want a soul reading, you've got to be on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. Just click right up there where my name is, and it should take you here. It should. And look for the blue check mark. There are so many spammers out there. Okay, so let's see who grabs my attention. Okay, for those of you who haven't watched me before, you got to grab my attention. You can simply just ask if you want a reading. But what I'm going to do now is scroll down to the bottom and then go back up a little bit of my comments here. Okay. Okay, hold on. I can't find my purpose. I don't find happy. Okay, here we go. Kate got my attention. Kate says, I've spent all day searching for jobs. I just can't find my purpose. I don't find happiness in what I have experience in. I feel like I'm on repeat. Oh, don't you hate that feeling? And just existing. Do you have any guidance on what direction I'm supposed to take? Now, I know somebody out there is going to go, Kate, didn't you hear her? You're supposed to say trust. Okay, however, here's the thing. It's tricky, isn't it? When we have the experience, the qualifications, etc. for a job, but it no longer feeds our soul. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to take a job, of course, that is that because that's how we make money until the other part comes along. Here's the thing. My big learning that I have been getting over the past couple of months and probably the past few years as well is back to the not thinking. no thinking. I can't find my purpose. And I just said to Greg earlier today, when I tell people what their purpose is, and it is not what they want to hear, they're usually unhappy about it. Or I tell people what their purpose is, and they don't want to hear that, because we as humans think our purpose is doing what we do for a living, what we're doing for other people, etc. But our purpose is actually being our beautiful, bright, brilliant selves. And then how we express our soul is the next part of how we are doing. And that is where we can find a purpose, whether it is a job purpose or not is another question. So Kate, for you have the most amazing, I'm just going to talk about your soul for a second right now. You have the most amazing soul, because you are the kind of person who wants to be there for others, and I know you do. And I know there have been times in your life where you have sacrificed yourself for others. And I know that you are the kind of person that when you do something, you put your all into it. And you have also been very well trained, as have most of us, to figure things out and do step. And what we want to do, a couple things here for you, is to go into what does bring you joy. Okay, what does bring you joy? Is it working in your garden? Is it going for a run? I don't know. Whatever it might be. Yeah, and do that. Make sure you're doing the fun, creative thing that you love. People tend to put those on the back burner. I'll do it later after I do this other stuff. We want to put it on the front burner. So do that, because this gets you out of your head, and it will get you into that flow and back into your soul again. Okay. And it is interesting to me, Kate, because I can feel two parts of you in terms of which direction to take. One is I can feel you wanting to help people. And the other part of you, I can feel you wanting to kind of be alone and do your own thing. Right? So to find that balance that's in there too. What I mentioned earlier, I'm going to mention to you, and you're probably not going to like this answer either, but sorry, I can only tell you what my guide is telling me, is to really do what I said earlier, which is to sit in the stillness with the intention of connecting. Do not sit in the stillness with the intention of give me the answers, give me the answers, give me the answers, because the more we want something, the more it gets pushed away. So your intention is to just be connected and feel that connection. I truly believe that I keep looking over here because this is where my guide is, you guys. So I truly believe that if you do fun, creative things that you enjoy, that you take some moments to sit in that stillness with that pure intention of simply connecting, that you will be led to where you need to go, because this is going to move you into trusting. And so what you're doing now, we have to do action, and searching for a job is great. Continue on with that. Be sure to look outside of things that you're currently thinking about. I have a feeling it's an area that hasn't quite popped into your head yet. I feel like you're going to look at something and all of a sudden you're going to see something else, which is going to lead you somewhere else. I'm going to stop there with you, Kate, because as you can see, I'm going to talk too much. So there you are, sending you lots of love on that. I'm backtracking. Shayna. So wise. I say my alone time is for others just as much as myself. I can relate, right? Because if we don't have enough alone time, we're not quite here. Okay. Next, smiles to all. Oh, that was fun. Who is that? Susie. I am looking. Linda, what if you feel like more of a burden than anything else? A burden to another person? Okay, so Linda, if you feel like a burden to another person, this is a very strong indication that we must step into believing who you truly are, step into believing that you are deserving and worthy. Part of the reason, everyone, I wrote this book, Courageously You, Magical Mind Games to Get Unstuck and Reignite Your Joy. This book is a book to help people reconnect with their power, with their soul's energy. It has strategies in here to help us love ourselves, and also strategies to help us as we handle some of the challenges in life. looking at those challenges from a higher perspective. So if we are feeling like we are a burden more than anything else or to anybody else or that kind of thing, then it is beyond essential that we move into loving and honoring our true self, getting to know who we truly are at that soul level, believing in ourselves, and honoring that. Self-care, self-love. That is key. Okay, scrolling. Julie says, I've been trying to push through my fears and feel like it's a learning, all a process of trusting that all will turn out as it should, no matter what. And that is so true, because when we do this, when we can learn from our fears, we can learn what's going on, and then we do move into that letting go is another very important part of everything I'm talking about tonight. But letting go of whatever is in our way, what's causing these fears, what beliefs is it, whatever it might be, and allowing ourselves to be creative in how we look at these things. We become curious. We want to really explore these things and learn from it. What is it showing about us? What is it telling us? What are we learning? All of this stuff. And then once we move into trusting, again, free mind space, but also it will turn out as it should. And Julie, I just have to give you a little brief reading here, because as I touch in with you, I'm getting the most brilliant, beautiful colors of your soul. I am seeing green, which is the color of the heart and the color of healing as well. A very beautiful luminescent green with you. So I know that you are truly moving into that loving energy. I know that you have spent time healing and that you are really open to that, which I am really admiring right now, Julie. And I'm also feeling this beautiful sense of silver, and silver to me is the spiritual connection. So I do understand that you are being guided and that you have a guide around you that is also with you. And do you have an affinity for angels? Because all of a sudden I am feeling angels around you as well. So you have quite a lot of support around you from the other side with guides and angels, and I'm sure your spirit people as well. And you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And the reason I know this is because as I see the colors here, they are directly connected and going up. So congratulations on that. That's quite exciting if you ask me. Okay, next I'm continuing on. There you go, Julie. I already said that one. Okay. Tammy Lynn Ferguson would truly appreciate a soul message. I would like... Tammy Lynn, here's the first thing I felt, and I always go with the first thing, right? The first thing I'm feeling is joy with you, joy and laughter. And there is this sense that that is one of your values. I don't normally talk about this, so this is kind of fun to do. That is one of your values that you, it's kind of like if you're not having fun, why do it? That's what it feels like with you. So this is a very important part of your soul, is joy, laughter, fun, that kind of thing. There is also the sense, oh, I'm getting a little vision here. I am getting a sense of you, how can I put this? It's almost, it's like you're going down a slide on a mountain, okay? You're going down a slide on a mountain. It is fun. It is fast. It's moving quickly. It's swerving around obstacles, okay? This gives me the impression as well that you are open to exploring your soul. You're open to wanting to really live as your best, truest self. That you also at times might feel as though things are going too fast, that maybe the energy is going too fast. And we are in a time right now with the consciousness shift of high manifestation where the energy is moving very quickly. So no worries on that, since it's pretty much normal right now. But the fun part of this is I see you having fun as you're going down this adventure down this mountain. And this all feels good to me. The theme for you right now that is with me is fun adventure. Life is a fun adventure. This may be an intention you want to claim. I don't know. You get to decide what you want to do, but that pops into my head. So I will leave that with you. Okay. D says, I usually have signs that guide me in life decisions at the appropriate time for change. Lately, I've lost passion for things, but no signs to guide me on a different path. Am I being impatient, or is it not the right time for change? What a great comments and question. I've heard this from quite a few of my clients this year. Where I always get signs, but then I'm not feeling it, or I'm not having that sense of passion. And part of this is what I have mentioned in previous times. So for some of you may have heard this before. When we're feeling like this, where we're not getting the signs and we feel like we're stalled or stuck, I call it an intermission. And what that means is we're just waiting between acts, like acts of a play or a concert or something. We're just waiting for the energy to catch up and continue moving us on. So the energy is always moving, setting things up for us. So it's kind of like we're at a plateau, but in a good way. Okay, it's not a bad thing because the energy is still helping us. The other thing that's happening when you mentioned I've lost passion for things, and I bet there's others who feel the same, part of that is we're having this spiritual awakening for so many people in this consciousness shift. So the energy is shifting very quickly, and our bodies' energies are having a hard time catching up, if you will, because the vibration of the consciousness shift is rapidly accelerating, increasing, getting higher, but our physical bodies and our energies are still moving in that direction. So sometimes when that happens, we can feel as though we've lost our passion or we've lost our energy. And it's back to that same idea of the intermission, and our energy is simply catching up. Okay, so don't feel like that you're stuck. Don't feel like they're not guiding you. Don't feel like you're not going to know where to go, because you will know where to go. It's moving back into that trust idea I was talking about. And you may be being impatient because you're human and we all do this. However, knowing this might help for you can just kind of go, okay, my energy is just catching up. It's okay. This is where we move into that trusting. Your energy is working, but also trusting that the time will, the whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever's coming to you will come in the perfect timing. So this is a great time to just kind of coast a little bit, do fun things, do whatever catches your interest, and know, that's capital letters, know that you will be led to where you need to go. Okay, so that will help. Okay. Okay, Kate, I'm glad that helped. So Debbie's talking about intentions, and you guys know, if you're on my mailing list, you know I'm the queen of intentions. I love intentions. Our words have so much power. So for example, if we're saying all the time, I don't know what my purpose is, I can't figure it out, that's now an intention. The universe will say to you, oh, you don't know your purpose and you're not going to figure it out. Cool. Okay. And so that's what you're going to get, right? So instead, you would want to say something else like, I trust my purpose will be shown to me. I trust I will be led to where I need to go. So we want to set that intention. And I always tell people to set them in the morning as they get up and then repeat throughout the day. Here's the key, though, to supercharge your intentions. It's not simply saying empty words. You must feel the intentions. Okay, feel the intention. If you trusted that you would be led, how would that feel for you? How would it feel? Then you feel it as you say it. That supercharges your intention. And then as you're going about your day, you can remind yourself if you need to. You might notice times where you are led. Maybe you get this feeling to drive down another road and you don't normally go that way. That's a sign you are being led, right, into a different direction. You go down that road and maybe you avoided an accident. Maybe you ran into a friend of yours, whatever it is. So you'll start to see those times you are led. Then you'll start to expect those times. And then you'll notice more and more and more. And you'll be trusting. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see what else I got. Yeah, our books are not on Audible yet. We've been talking about it. Okay, good. I'm glad that it's helpful for you, Julie. Debbie Bartosik, I've got a little bit of a reading for you. Okay, I'm going to do, this is interesting. I'm going to do a soul reading for you, Debbie. What I'm feeling right now, and this is a very interesting vision that they're showing me right now. And I am wondering about this because it feels like so much entangled together. It's almost, how can I explain this? It doesn't feel like a bad thing. Let me start out that way. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. It doesn't feel like you've got so much going on in your mind you can't think right. It feels like there are connections being made in places you don't expect. Ooh, that's kind of cool, actually. Connections being made in places you don't expect. Like you might be talking to one person about something, and all of a sudden you have this brilliant thought, this insight, or a message comes through. And then I see you over here, same thing. So it feels like an integration of so much of the information you know, and getting pieces of insight and wisdom in all sorts of different places. I'm being told to tell you don't discount these things simply because they come from unexpected places. They're also showing me that I'm getting so many colors today. I'm getting so many colors. I love it. I'm getting lots of purple with you, and this sense of it's kind of like this awareness. We only have so much time left. Okay, this doesn't mean your time is imminent or anything like this, but we you know how sometimes we get that feeling we only have so much time left and we want to live it as best we can. And there is that sense of urgency. And I do see the purple, which is the spiritual connection. And I feel that you're really wanting to head even more deeply into that area. And it's very interesting. I really like this idea of you getting pieces of information from all sorts of places. It's kind of cool. So pay attention to those little bits of information because they're being integrated in your mind and your soul, leading you to a deeper spiritual self. Ooh, that was kind of deep, Debbie. Okay, cool. Let's see who else we've got. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Nice to see you. Let's see. Tricky. You guys are tricky here. Leanne, I like that. The intermission description. I feel like my life is in a prequel set before the healing I've done, full of doubt, fear, and anger. Ooh, Leanne. Ooh, prequel. I really like that. Yeah. This time we're living in, everybody, okay, this is not just for Leanne, but everybody. The time we are living in is a time of letting go. It is a time of allowing these doubts, fear, anger, frustrations, whatever, to come up and out. We must release them. And this is wonderful that we can take this intermission time and allow them to come up. And Leanne is an amazing person and just such a kind, caring person, and also very spiritually connected, Leanne, as you are. And so beautiful because this is what it feels like, Leanne. I see this. Okay, whenever I see this kind of feeling, this usually means that we're working through stuff and then it's freedom. Okay, and I feel like you are really in that direction, and I feel like it's really coming for you. It's just so beautiful. Okay, I'm still checking. Good, Dee. I'm glad that made a sense to you. Oh, yeah. Okay, Lauren. I would love a soul message. I just recently separated from someone who I thought had a soul connection with. Words that were said were very hurtful. Also, I've been at a standstill with work, Not sure why it's so hard for me to push forward. I feel like I'm constantly tired, exhausted, and unmotivated. I would love some guidance. Okay, so Lauren, I'm not going to repeat all the stuff I said before, except to tell you, remember we are in this shifting energy, and that is making us tired, exhausted, and unmotivated. I will address the other part. So take care of yourself, right? Oh, everybody, just take care of your energy. You have to protect your energy. Maybe I should talk about that next week. How to protect your energy. I think I've done that recently. I can't remember, but maybe that's an idea. But anyway, you have a lot going on because of not feeling well. Are you feeling apathetical, a standstill with work as well? Plus, recently separating from someone you thought you had a soul connection with. That's very difficult. This is the time for you to go within and reconnect to your true self, to your soul. This is the time to do it. And before I forget, everybody, I have a coaching program that begins in January, and it's a Saturday for 8 weeks. And it's all about you learning who you are, strengthening your connection to yourself, being yourself, really stepping into your power, because the stronger you are in knowing yourself and understanding yourself, you're in your soul's energy more, the less our physical situations and circumstances will bother us. Okay, we'll be able to stand stronger. We'll be able to handle things. We'll be able to trust better. So if you're looking for any kind of personal guidance, it's a very small group, so everybody gets lots of personal guidance. Check it out on my website, ColleenVanderzijden.com or BeCourageouslyYou.com. You'll see a link right at the very top of every page on there. Click on that and you can learn more about that coaching program. So Lauren, you have, the most beautiful, loving light about you. You are a person who, and I know this is true, who when you connect with somebody, especially a soul kind of connection, you really go all in. And there is also this sense of you sometimes, maybe possibly not paying too much attention to the red flags that might pop up. Okay, so like sometimes, and you're probably an empath as well, as empaths frequently will say, oh, well, they're just having a bad day. Oh, we give them such grace and forgiveness. And sometimes these are really flags that we need to pay attention to, And so I have a feeling, because you are such an open-hearted, loving person, and you really are, that this can be quite a challenge for you to go through a separation and to recognize that maybe this person was not who you thought they were, right? Which is so challenging. Here's the thing, though, again, back to loving yourself, being yourself, healing yourself as much as possible is necessary for you. And of course, all these other things, not only the energy, but your situation. No wonder you're exhausted and unmotivated. Okay, so your primary thing is to love yourself, to believe in yourself, and trust yourself. An intention for you may be as simple as, I take care of myself. I love myself. I show myself grace. Any of those kinds of words can really help. I trust that I will get through this, can be one. I trust I will be led is a big one tonight. I've said several times. That may be helpful as well. I am lovable if you're struggling with some feelings that maybe you're not. I am worthy. I am deserving. All of those kinds of things. You could even do I am love and light, because truly you are so open-hearted, so loving, so light. And I know sometimes you may give too much to others, and I mean that in terms of giving so much to them that you kind of forget about yourself. So this is the time to bring your energy back in and protect yourself and love yourself as much as you can, Lauren. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's 9:00. I have talked way too much. Yes. Okay. So I will get through your the comments here. I will not be answering your questions necessarily, but if you have good questions in there about spiritual growth, spiritual path, how to do something spiritually, that kind of thing, yes, I will talk about those. I generally do try to avoid things like what's going to happen, psychic questions, because we are here to trust, okay? The things I'm talking about tonight are very deep, you guys. These are deep. These are not for the average Joe on the street here. They would look at me and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. But here's what I am teaching now. This is my focal point now. And it's always been being about yourself, or else I wouldn't have written this, right? So it's always about being yourself. But now I've moved to a different level with it. It's being your soul, stepping into that limitless power. And it's so important at this very time that we do this. The energy is insane out there, you guys. So, and you are a part of helping shift this, okay? So we want to move into that trusting, okay? So check out my Courageously You small group coaching program. It is limited to 6, and you get lots of personal guidance, and we definitely, you will definitely step into your power. It's a magical place. It definitely is magical. Okay, let's see. John says, the connections and friendships we gained from the program have been so amazing. You will not be disappointed. John did go through that program. Okay, so next week, if I'm here, I'm going to be traveling this weekend, so it depends on how tired I am. But if I'm here next week, maybe I will answer some of your questions again, not necessarily psychic, what's going to happen questions, but how can I step into my power? How can I let go? Maybe we'll talk a little bit about letting go next week and how to do it, right? Maybe we'll do that. So I think that would be good. If I'm here next week, I'll let you know. I plan to be, but you never know. I'm traveling, so we'll see. Oh, good, Lauren. I'm glad that helped you. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. If you have questions, comments, or something you do want me to talk about on a future show, definitely write them here in the comments. And I do make notes. It takes me a few days to get to it usually, but I will make notes. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you check out lilydaleassembly.org. Make sure you follow me right here on my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach with the blue check mark. Check out my website, ColleenVanderzijden.com or BeCourageouslyYou.com, and lilydaleassembly.org, Lily Dale Assembly Incorporated, blah, blah, blah. You've got it all. I will see you guys next week. You have the most amazing week. The most amazing week. Live as your soul. Goodbye.